Hello and welcome back again to my channel, and let's see how we can create a collectible for the Cammy character that we created. Right now she's in a T pose, so what we'll do first thing is we'll pose the character, then we'll split the character in this video only, and then in the next part we'll make it a collectible ready by splitting and cutting it and by keying it so that it have multiple parts which is print compatible. So I have started to pose it for now. For that, all you have to do is make sure you have all the subtools which you want to pose in visible mode, and you can click on transpose masters subtool. That transpose using transpose master you can just pose it. So yes, nothing else to explain, so I'll just shut myself up and you can enjoy the process. So once you have posed the character, you just have to click on T pose to sub T. It will project all your changes to the existing mesh where you have clicked the T pose master, and Now all you have to do is fix all those intersections and all the errors that you are seeing right now, because what it does, it takes the low poly or you can say the lowest subdiv, and then you have to pose the lowest subdiv model, and when you click on the T pose to sub T, which transfers all your details from the low to high, this usually happens that you have to fix a lot of things before call it done. You can't just simply pose it in the low form and call it done. No, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, it does takes a lot of time, but you have to fix a couple of changes here and there. So a couple of things that you have to keep in mind for collectibles is that your mesh, any mesh, shouldn't be too thin, otherwise it won't print, or if it's floating, then it can break, or if it's something that is sticking to the body or any surface, make sure it sticks so that when you dynamesh, it sticks to it and the painter after printing can paint it. So that way you can give an illusion of that mesh. Like the lines that are extruding from the pant, I have kept it on the pants as a separate mesh, but made sure that it sticks properly. There should not be any gap. Also, when you pose any cloth, this kind of errors will come, so which you have to fix manually. Or there is one more thing that you can do, which I didn't want to do, is that resimulate and bring it here, because I have all the details in T-pose and I did not really want to do that again because it's a smaller fix. So this is the final model after all the changes and all the fixes that have been done to it. And yeah, I have added a base to it, some debris, some iron rods, which you call it saria in Hindi, and an effect of some attack which happened through the left leg. So yeah, that was an attack. So let's see how we can split the model in multiple parts. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop. So let's see from where we can split. Why do we split? So that we can have a bigger model printed whenever we want. So that's why I split. So firstly, I'm gonna cut her from the neck. So this part will be one part. Okay. Then the second cut will happen on the hand, here and here, like so. So these two hands will get cut. The third part which will come out will be the belly part, here to here. That is the third part. So I'll just mark it: first, second, third, fourth, that, and then the pants will be one. So I'll just cut it from maybe from the boots. Yes, I can also give it a cut from here and here as well, but that's just unnecessary, so I'll avoid that. So the body will be splitted into these many parts. Obviously this will be fifth, this will be sixth, and this will be seventh, and the whole piece base will be eighth, and then one of them will be 9, one of them will be 10 and 11, 12, 13, and floating pieces will be 14, and these little guys will be 15 and 16. So the whole model is almost gonna be splitted into 16 parts and even more, because I am gonna be splitting the belts. I'll cut it from here and one on the back as well, so that it clips and sticks to the surface. So yes, this is the plan for now. So let's see how we proceed further. I'll see you in the actual splitting process then. So now the plan is ready. You know from where we want to split. What I'll do, I'll just turn off the extras, which I think may intrude in my workflow, which is the base and extra things like effects. So what I'll do, I'll also make sure that I have arranged the sub tools in a way that I think will go first. Like I will be detaching the head first, then the torso, and so on. So for that matter, I'll just turn off extras as well, like the dress and everything. By turn off, I mean I'll just turn off the visibility for that subtool. And yes, here is the head that we want to do. I'll make sure that all of the other subtools are turned off. So for this, all you need to do is dynamesh it so that it is in one piece and it's not hollow, it is fully capped. Make sure you do that. Also, I wanted to split from there, so I'll put the neck band in subtract mode and I'll boolean it. So that way I have a perfect cut from the neck up where I want it to split it. What I'll do, I'll merge the subtools which I want to have in a single mesh. I'll dynamesh it on a higher number so that it retains the shape that I want. And yeah, firstly I have duplicated that body so that I can produce similar parts, or if there is any error happened from my end, that we can duplicate from the body. So head is done. All we have to do is I just noticed to fix a few things. So here and there some extra gaps or anything which is less visible, we can just smooth it out or flatten it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect because it's gonna be subtracted from itself. So there we go, the head is gone. Now all we have to do is do the same thing with torso as well. And I'll make sure to unhide or hide whatever is not required, and only unhide the things or subtools that is gonna be merged into one part, which will be the torso. So I'll be subtracting the hand pieces as well. I've kept it right now so that I will just subtract it from there. Also, I'll subtract the belt. So I'm just planning to just stick them separately. So I'll just split them into two belts. I won't be including them in the torso part, which is the upper body. So as I have noticed that there is a gap in the cloth, which I will have to fix it somehow by including some sphere or anything of that sort. We are using cylinder to fill in the gaps which might happen when you bring the clothes from Marvelous Designer, because it's a thin piece of geometry and you need to have it fixed, otherwise it's kind of not printable. It will use a lot of your base to not wear the filament, and it will give you a lot of errors as well. So here I will just add all those elements which will be going into the wood, and I'll do the same with all of the parts of this body as well. So making sure that we have the right amount of mesh and the right mesh added, and make sure it's closed, or you can use closed holes as a starting point. And after you merge all the subtools into one mesh like this one, you can use a dynamesh on a higher number. Fixing the errors and intersection, otherwise the dynamesh will become thin and it might give me hole, which is a little bit harder to fix at this moment. But yeah, I'm just deciding from where I should cut this. It's a little boring if you honestly ask me, it's not that interesting part, but after printing, it's the preparation process that we have to deal with somehow. So yeah, appending also a sphere which will fill the gap that will happen when we dynamesh it, or the gap is pretty prominent and it is hard to manage. It might break when you print it, so I'm just making sure to so that there is no gap and less room for errors. That's all. So since it doesn't matter that this little detail is there or not, you just need to have it in mind that your piece is properly printable. For now, appending all the parts where I think it might give me an error, and there is a way we can check if the part is properly filled or not. After dynameshing, what we'll do, we'll just add a rectangle and we'll slice through the object and see in real time if the object is fully solid or not. Alright, so once I have done the changes, as I have feared, things happened the same way. What I'll do, I'll just inflate it, I'll dynamesh it again, and I'll flatten it in the same manner, and I'll extract the belly part from it using the subtract boolean process that we have already discussed. So boolean plays a major role in creating collectibles which is print ready. So yeah, you should have a good practice for boolean. Like this, I'm seeing that there's still some gap in the mesh which needs to be fixed, which I'll keep on doing, and I might see you in a bit where I have fixed all the boring parts of this mesh and I have splitted all the mesh according to the need. So here we are with all the mesh fixed and prepared. What we can do, we can just append a rectangle square, put it in subtract and slide through the mesh, and observe carefully that all the mesh that we have prepared is fully solid or not. If you see any gap, what you have to do is append a sphere or any mesh that any object and merge it and dynamesh it. That way you can just simply fill the holes that is happening or the errors that might happen. So I'm just fixing this and I'll see you in a bit. Once everything is fixed, your mesh should look something like this. When you append a rectangle and set it in subtract mode, make sure your live boolean is turned on, otherwise it won't work. You will be just sliding and intersecting your meshes around. Also make sure that the mesh is visible right now. That is what I haven't ignored. I have ignored. Now it's turned on and it's proper. Now observe carefully that the mesh, which is the cross-section area of the mesh, is properly solid or not. All you have to do is look through it and have some patience in this process, because this is very important. This way you can look for holes and look for the gaps where resin might slip and might give you some errors and extra support which is required, which is an error in a 3D printing way, if you ask me. So yeah, the model is finally prepared and it's all finally splitted into multiple parts. In the next part of this video, what I'll do, I'll create a key and I'll put the keys inside the models, and I'll make it splittable, and after printing how you can join it. That's the whole process of this. So I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you feel like it.